Hi Ali, my name is Charlotte Ryan and I'm here to talk to you about whether you are entitled to the redundancy pay from the Hatfield Paving Company Limited. So after reading through your notes, I've discovered that the best way to figure this out is to work out whether you are an employee. So under the Employment Rights Act 1996, it states that an employee is somebody who has entered into or works under a contract of employment, and a contract of employment is defined as a contract of service. Now, this doesn't really give us much information, so I'm going to go on to tell you about certain tests and which ones we could apply. So the current test is the multiple composite test, and this was found in Ready Mixed Concrete and Ministry of Pensions and National Insurance. Now, there are three elements to this test, and the first element is personal service, which was laid down in McFarlane's and Glasgow City Council. In your case, Ali, you are able to summon somebody else to do the work for you if you are unable to, or you're ill, or you just don't want to work. In Community Dental Centres Limited and Dr. G. Sultan Jarman, it was actually said that you would not be classified as an employee if you have had to find a substitute to do the work for you. And Ali, this is what you do, and therefore there is not a requirement of personal service for you to fulfil at Hatfield Paving Company Limited. The second requirement is the requirement of control to a sufficient degree. And in Montgomery and Johnson Underwood Limited, it was outlined that an element of control is a very important element to establish in employment status. So this must be now considered as a whole. Control is a very simple test. It basically means how much control do Hatfield Paving Company have over you, Ali? And obviously, the greater degree of control, the more likely you will be an employee. And that was said by Whitaker and Ministry of Pensions and National Insurance. Well, if we look at this, you do not have to work certain hours. So there is no control over how many hours you work, when you work, where you work, or how you work. If you want a day off, you can have that day off. The only control that they seem to have over you is the fact that you must wear a uniform when going to see customers of theirs. So the level of control there is pretty small. The third element is mutuality of obligation. This has been discussed in cases such as O'Kelly and Trust House Fort. There are two tiers which must be fulfilled here. The first is that a contract must exist. There must be an obligation between Hatfield Paving Company and yourself. Hatfield Paving Company must oblige to give you hours, and you in return must oblige to work those hours. That is the contract. However, in your situation, Ali, there is no contract. You work when you want to work, and that is how your association with Hatfield Paving Company is. So therefore, there is no obligation here. The second part of the mutuality test is a future mutual obligation to employ and be employed. You've worked at the Hatfield Paving Company since April 2011. Previous to this, you worked and had your own business. So, seeing as you've worked there for a good 2 years now, they don't pay you sick pay. They don't pay you holiday pay. In fact, they don't give you a regular salary. The only money that I can see you are getting is through commission. This is a commission-based job, therefore, and seeing as there is no regular salary, it does seem that they do not need to pay you for your absence to keep a hold on you. The fact that they don't pay you holiday pay, sick pay, a regular salary, it does portray that they do not believe that they need to hold on to you to become a big business venture. I mean, this is the current test, but there are also a number of other tests which could be considered. So the first test that we're going to consider is the interrogation test. And Lord Justice Denning in Stevenson, Jordan and Harrison, McDonald and Evans, said that under a contract of service, a man is employed as part of a business and his work is done as integral part of the business. So in your case, Ali, you work one Saturday a month, which is the only thing you're required to do. You're a salesman. However, if you are unable to work a certain day, you are able to hand the work over to another person. Therefore, you are not a vital operation to the business. With or without you, the business will function, and therefore you are not integrated into the business either. The other test is a test called the economic test. The economic reality of the situation must be considered. And in the case of Market Investigations and Minister of Social Security, there was a handful of questions that were asked. So the first question was, are you in business on your own? Well, quite clearly we know you're not in business on your own. You are actually in business with Hatfield Paving Company. Do you hire your own stuff, your own equipment? Well, no, you don't. There isn't anything to be hired, and the business, which being Hatfield Paving Company, do actually give you your uniform, which, as we've discussed, is the only thing they actually require of you to do. You're able to hire your own help. Slight degree of financial responsibility. Well, there is a slight degree in the fact that you get commission. I wouldn't say this is a huge part that you play, but it is there. There isn't a degree of risk. Profit from responsibilities. Well, again, you do profit when you get commission from customers that you have sourced in. And the final question is, do you work for other people outside of the business? Well, yes, you do. You do other work on the side. However, you have made it clear that you will not work. You will not do work for customers which are currently Hatfield Paving Company's customers. So there's quite a mix of answers there, but they aren't conclusive as they have to be considered all together. In Withers and Flackwell's Health Football Supporters Club, if it was said if it was hard to conclude, they could just ask the question, are you your own boss? Well, when we think about this, Ali, you do work your own hours. You can take on people to do the work for you instead of you having to work. You don't get paid holiday pay. You don't get paid sick pay. You pay your own national insurance, and you pay your own tax. Taking all this into account, it does outweigh the possibilities that you probably are self-employed. However, as we said, it is not conclusive. So I hope this has helped, Ali. If you need any help, other help, just give me a shout. Thank you.